Frauditor Troll people are slow as molasses. They are really some ignorant asses. Oh yeah! What's up, everybody? Supposedly tonight is Frauditor Debate Eve, the night before the big debate. Hopefully YouTube lets me have my main channel back tomorrow. And in the meantime, let's read some of his people's comments on my videos. So this one's about Craig Henry. He says, an anarchist who wants to destroy all government, blah, blah, blah. Fake patriots. Look up someone openly hates our kind. Strangely, this hardcore anarchist can't stop suing people left and right via government courts. He can't seem to... well, if he's suing people in government courts, what options does he have? When you're in this structure, it's not like you can go take care of it yourself. It has been pointed out that Antifa Craig, wow, what a claim. 1,000 times that erasing all government creates a vacuum simply filled by another government. You would all be subjugated to foreign governments wanting all our resources. I said, I'll take more freedom over less any day. What we have now is textbook fascism. Now this is great. You're too sheltered in life and inexperienced to understand how the world works. I'm going to be 48 years old this year. I'm bilingual. I lived in Europe. I lived in the States. I've owned multiple restaurants. How is D.B. Cooper going to tell me I'm too sheltered in life and experience of how the world works? Dude, the whole pretentious much, bro? Like other frauditors, you run and hide when the average people you claim to defend your rights for want to question you. Who have I ever run and hid from? If, I'm assuming this guy's trying to say, if Frauditor Troll debates, it's you and him, then a Q&A with the viewers that even your viewer could question Frauditor Troll. So he's trying to tell me how to structure the debate here. The rabbit, first of all, really, dude? Second of all, you don't tell me how to run my debates. I'm going to debate him one-on-one. You guys want to have your own debates, your own jack-off session, you do it after the debate. So yeah, hope you remember the time Gary Snow exercised his First Amendment right as a journalist, where he filmed you and your gang of cowards where you threatened Gary. Remember that? Oh, you mean where Gary showed up to harass us for exercising our First Amendment rights, and he ground his junk into my butt and almost started a fight with Ebor Rob. What are you saying? I threatened? I threatened him how? This is another thing the Frauditor Troll people do. They just lie straight up. Just reported all your backup channels to YouTube. You're using them to circumvent your ban. Bye, soft shit Frauditor. Nothing's happened. This was 5 days ago. I mean, this is really what you do, bro? Aw, Snowflake, I hope your vagina feels better. LOL, you're the one that has to film interactions down to answering the door. That's pretty sad. Anyway, looking forward to your return and future arrest. Aw. Thanks for watching and being a fan. What a nice guy. This person got upset because I called Himalayan sea salt. It's just Himalayan salt. It's not in the sea. I'm sorry. I messed up there. So you backed out, too scared to debate. No, I didn't back out. My channel got suspended. Okay. Funny, I know the laws. Unliker, you know, wonder you have criminal record at John Felix. Criminal record? I have a resisting without violence, which is BS. That's the first time I ever been arrested. Last August. You fool don't know laws. You fool don't know laws. See, the courts have ruled in Reyes' case that there is no constitutional right to film in a government building. Oh yeah, cite the case, I'll read it. Well, U.S. Court of Appeals in Reyes versus New York case has said that you have no constitutional right to film on government property for start. Who? Well, U.S. Court of Appeals in Reyes versus New York case has said you have no constitutional right to film on government property. Somebody look that up, please. Broken system, broken trust. They all thought I became best friends with him. I had one phone call with him. He betrayed my trust, and that was the end of it. Let's see here. And when it comes to auditors, you should probably do a little research before you start praising them. I said the guy was a Marine, dude. I knew I had one phone call with the guy. You can't. They think your whole life is on these comment sections. Some auditors actually do tell what happened in the past that made them want to keep their eye on the government. That's a defender. You are out there exposing government records, not making da-da-da-da. Because it goes to their credibility. Yeah. I'm judging their actions and behavior that they are currently displaying. I find out stuff later and act accordingly. Da-da-da-da. That wasn't so bad. All right. People rebel against the government are not just called patriots. Sometimes they're called traitors or insurgents. Or have you never heard of the Confederate States of America? Yeah, those are called the bad guys. The guys who were pro-slavery, anti-freedom. We would be the North in this situation. And the government would be the South because they've gone so far, steered so far away from the Constitution. That's the point of not liking what auditors do because it hurts people's feelings. That's not it at all. People don't like it because it's against unspoken contract of social norms. Unspoken contract of social norms. If it's unspoken, I've never heard of it. And if it's a contract, I've never signed it. And who gets to decide what social norms are? If it's a social norm that I don't record in public, then tell the government to stop recording me when I'm in public. For example, ever since the days of caveman societies, all across the world have had taboos against staring at people. Now, thousands of years ago, that started because something staring at you was usually some sort of predator out to steal your stuff and junk or your woman or eat you. So there's an animal part of our brain that says danger when somebody is staring at us. Fast forward a few thousand years, and while that is still true in some cases and many other cases, a number of societies have translated that into it's not polite to stare. Okay? Who are we staring at? You mean like when they put their camera in the window? And what does that have to do with recording? Well, what is the recording when you're pointing a camera at somebody if not electronically staring at them? So as far as social norms go, it rubs people the wrong way, and you guys are operating outside the social norms. That's right. That's what activists do. They operate outside the social norms so they can bring attention to problems. Yes, you got it. It's called activism. Most people Bluetooth operate outside of social norms on a regular basis are suffering from overlapping clusters of personality disorders. Wow. Having a personality disorder is a common trait among criminals. That is why you find it's very common for auditors to have criminal histories, in some cases very substantial criminal histories. Just like cops. Just like all the crimes cops commit, and we record it and show it on the internet. The last thing is most of the time where auditors go to exercise their rights, they do not have the right to be there doing what they are doing because even though they are doing it on a so-called public property or a public building, that venue is usually a limited or non-public forum. Yeah, the overwhelming majority of auditors go into places they are absolutely allowed to go, with very few exceptions. So he's wrong on that one. In such venues, the Supreme Court has ruled time and time again that it is perfectly constitutional to restrict or outright prohibit certain First Amendment activity, but none of that means anything to auditors because they are like legal bulls in a china shop. The auditors are the bull, the china in this case, instead of being place settings, is the fleshed out or nuanced aspects of the law through case law. Wow. This guy like a psychiatrist? Oh, here's my response. I didn't sign any contract social norms. I swore an oath to the Constitution like the police and government workers did. If it's not polite to stare, then why won't the government stop staring at me, my money, my actions, my travels, my family, my labor, my house, etc.? You're proving my point. I get rubbed the wrong way when government cameras, gunmen, and bureaucrats stare at me physically and electronically. Why do I have to put up with it? You would have to have an extreme personality disorder to become a cop and wipe your ass with the oath every day. Most cops commit crimes on camera. Actually, in reality, most auditors go to public places where they have the absolute right to be. It's not so-called public property if it's taxpayer funded. It's public property. If the public property has public areas that the general public can enter, then the media may also enter. For the most part. The limited time, place, and manner forums need to have proper signage, training, and literature law to show. Turning into a blowhard, aggressive imbecile is not how anyone with any brain power operates or solves issues of contention. Certain public places do have the right to restrict and prohibit by following specific protocols and having proper signage and training, But if they let the general public enter, then they cannot discriminate against someone for exercising their right to peaceful free speech, assembly, religion, press, or redress. Lumping all auditors into one category is intellectually dishonest. Some are horrible, some are astounding, and very informed in law and practice. The difference between cops and auditors is cops all go through the same training and violate people at will around the country. And they back each other up, too. Auditors don't go to auditor school. We're all independent, and a lot of us don't like each other. We speak against other auditors, unlike cops and judges. The term auditor is a misnomer, as we are civil rights activists, generally speaking. The truth is, if cops and government didn't act like complete imbeciles, then we would have no content. All they literally have to do is nothing, and there still won't be no video, no show. But sick, armed control freaks can't control their impulses based on an astounding ignorance of constitutional law and the core principles of freedom. Wow. Wow. Is that really what he responded? Oh, boy. Who wrote this? Oh, there he is. Okay. Whether or not someone swore to the Constitution, man, this is going to be the last one because I'm not going to read all these. Not all there. We all have 240 odd years of case law. If the bare language of the Constitution was the end of it, then somebody could start a religion where human sacrifice would be perfectly legal because Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or free exercise thereof. And I'm not talking about kidnapping and murder. I'm talking about religion where everybody included the sacrifice. Participants, despite the bare language of the Constitution, the law against human sacrifice are perfectly constitutional. No. Human sacrifice is you'd be depriving that person of their rights. So I don't see how. No. And no, anywhere the public can enter does not mean they can go exercise their First Amendment rights, and wholly depends on the type of public forum. Correct. But the post office is a public forum. Most of the places auditors go are public, and they're allowed to be there and they're allowed to record. All one has to do is search public forum doctrine to have that explained to them. I definitely will. And even if there's a signage or law in place that says in black and white that it can be restricted, the auditors ignore it and call it unconstitutional. Yeah, because it's mostly someone's handwritten or typed out policy that they finally learn how to use a printer and post it on the wall. Beloved Poster 7, which is not actually the law is yes. Clearly lists several ways in which photography can be restricted. Right, it does. But auditors seem to be the one group with disproportionately high level of lacking. That's wrong. But while the people are allowed to enter the post office to do postal business, it is a venue that does. Okay, bro. Okay, so Coquinda versus United States, determined to be a non-public forum. So let me respond to that by saying, what was it, 2018? Sean Reyes got a copy. I made a video about it. They sent a memo down to all the post office employees saying, yes, people are allowed to film in here. Do not film them back. Do not call the police. Do not create a scene. Do not confront them. So you're wrong there. Even the post office itself said you can record in there. So did the post office police. So you're wrong on that one, dude. I know just because somebody pays taxes and they are required to by law does not mean the individual members of the public actually own a public building or any other so-called public property. Of course they own it. Who owns it? What makes it public if the public doesn't own it? Then it's not public. There's nothing about it that gives general members of the public any legal custody, care, or control over it. It gives them access to it because they paid for it. It gives them access. It's not owned by one person. It's owned by everybody, and everyone has equal access. That's what owning means. Here's the test. Next time you see a city vehicle sitting around, maybe from the Parks Department or whatever, if it has keys in it, hop in and take it for a spin. Not even with the idea of keeping it. Maybe just test drive to see how it handles. Keep it out. Okay, you're saying get in someone's car because it's publicly funded? No, obviously the car's assigned to somebody. You're being ridiculous. We're talking about public property, like real estate. Could anything negative happen to you? Yes, but why? How can you get in trouble for driving a car or truck that you own or at least are a co-owner of? Okay, you're stretching it too there. You're really reaching there. The reason you can get into trouble is because you really do not own it. You do own it. You're letting them use it. It's owned by the city as an entity, And this is where the stinking thinking twisted logic comes in amongst auditors thinking that they actually own public property and they have property rights to it. Dude, we do have rights to go onto public property, especially if it has a public lobby and it serves the public and the general public's allowed to be there. What are you talking about? The business of the people owning this or that is not grounded in law. Oh, yeah, it's grounded in common sense, if not law. We pay for it. It's only something that a number of different types of governments say in order to make people feel a little better about paying the taxes they must pay. I bet you this dude could never find the law that says you have to pay a tax on your labor. Also, public servants don't work for individual members of the public. That's why I have to laugh out loud every time I hear somebody saying to a public employee something like, you work for me, or I'm your boss, or I pay your salary. Well, they do work for us and we do pay their salary. I don't know about I'm your boss. This nonsense of auditors calling public sector employees public servant. They are public servants. To their face, to their face, to their face, to their face, and essentially demanding that public employee act servile towards them is beyond ridiculous. Well, the thing is, we usually don't act that way until they say something about us recording in public. They start off bad, it goes bad. Lastly, while I have not charted it, it does seem that the vast majority of auditors have substantive criminal records, particularly the more popular ones, that they established long before getting into auditing. You have a Long Island's audit with this felony robbery conviction. See, I didn't know about that, but I don't even care. If he's probably young. I judge him on what he's doing now, and I'm assuming he did his time for that. Do you guys not believe in the court system and the justice system? He did his time, right? Auditing America with his domestic violence. I didn't know that. Then there's Earl, we all know and use now, Houston. And then there's assortment of gangbangers and drug abusers and more petty criminals that have taken up the camera now, calling themselves civil rights activists. And they want to teach people a law when the vast majority of them have nothing more than a high school education, if that, and have learned their law from YouTube University, when in fact the whole auditing movement is based on misunderstanding and misinterpretation of the law. So he's right about a few things here. Not all auditors are great, but there's well over 1,000 auditors now. Of course, there's going to be bad ones, and there's some good ones. And the ones that are bad, they don't get watched, and they don't make any money. Unlike bad cops who always keep their job and always make more money and seem to get promoted. The percentage of auditors that have a criminal record, I have no idea. It's not just auditors either now. There's millions of people now who know that they don't have to ID. That was my main thing when I started this auditing, was I wanted people to understand that they don't need to give their driver's license up just at the whim of a cop. Yeah. So there's thousands of auditors, but there's about 20 frauded channels that I only know about 3. And one of them supposedly killed somebody for an Xbox. One of the bigger ones. Anyway, I don't care. So that's not the point. The point is we're literally doing nothing wrong. Here we go, the rabbit. When you record inside a government building, you aren't in a public forum anymore. Oh, no? Where am I? In a private building? Limited to non-public forum. And yes, limited public forum. That's right. And the cases you attempt to cite don't say publicly accessible. That is added onto by frauditors. Also, the no trespass public case law was based on a protest of 100 people being trespassed from a sidewalk without committing a crime, and the government buildings aren't the same as a sidewalk. That case also, I believe Drew covered it, that they were warned verbally. Speech about frauditor. Yeah, limited public forum. So if I'm being peaceful and I'm minding my own business and I'm recording in a limited public forum, that means I can't yell. Obviously, I can't scream and yell in there. Limited public forum means I can only be in there during business hours. We know these things. So there's that. Man, going on 20 minutes already? What else we got here? Frauditor Troll lives in Canada. I don't know. One bad oh, here, this person. So your argument is one bad person in the community is a reflection of the whole community? No. I brought up Fraud at Wrangler because I heard that he killed somebody for a PlayStation and he's still walking around free. Whoa, what happened there, man? Good Lord. I have to go all the way back to do this. I really want to find that one. Where was it? YT. Police wearing so many tattoos. Nowadays. Roberts. Channel suspended. Couldn't have happened to a better person. Damn it, I wanted to do that one. Where'd it go? Frauditor Troll and Wrangler will not get together. Wrangler did not kill somebody. Both went to prison on different charges. And he has admitted to it many times. Frauditor Troll, I guess, thinks he should not have a channel because he's been to prison, or obviously he does not think people can change. Frauditor Troll has never done anything wrong and has no faults. That is what you'll face when, if you debate him, I try to find someone he did wrong, hit him on that, and you will lose it. He loves putting the heat on someone but cannot take the heat himself. Also, you'll be outnumbered by him and his followers. Well, it's going to be him and I, so... I guess I don't know how the First Amendment works. Okay. Thank you, sir. Frauditors. Yeah, this is the 4th grader there. Just reported your channel. Can't wait to see the debate. Frauditor Follies. This guy, bro. This guy said I baited him during our debate where he jumped on this live stream to get at me. Anyway, I think I already printed that one. Himalayan sea salt. I don't know the whole story. Blood hurt baby. Swilly, where are you? People rebel. What pool table is that? Comparing restaurant servers. Driving without a seatbelt. You and some of your followers are ignorant and how dangerous Aleel's job can be. I'm sure I'll get a juvenile hostile replies, but that's fine. It doesn't bother me. I don't usually leave comments, but it's ridiculous how many people want to lump all law enforcement officers together in one category as pigs and bad cops. Well, I'm well aware of bad cops out there, but the difference is I'm not completely blinded by anger and hatred. Naturally, making videos about tyrant cops will always get more views because, sadly, it's what a lot of people want to see. Well, if there wasn't so many bad cops, there wouldn't be so many videos, right? So, roofers and garbage men are more dangerous jobs than being a cop. Sorry if that hurt your feelings. Your ignorance is astounding and has effed all to do with feelings. It's a simple fact that you have zero clue what you're talking about. I don't have enough construction paper and crayons to explain how wrong you are. I can't use glue because 1A agitators always eat it. It's pathetic that you spread misinformation on what's biased for YouTube views. What's even sadder is the fact that you even have subscribers. But to each their own. I'm not truly interested in a back and forth with someone who can't see past their own ego and their hatred for law enforcement. I'd say good luck to you in the future, but I'd be insincere. Wow, that's a lot of word salad without acknowledgement of facts. Cops are not even in the top 25 most dangerous jobs. Have a nice day. Frauditor Troll, keyboard trolls are eating this up. They make 0 cents. They call it the constipation. They steal content for money. Oh, here we go. Last one. You do realize how many auditors have checkered past, right? Oh, wait. Yeah, I know that. Okay, this one. So your argument is that one bad person in the community is a reflection of that whole community. Talking about fraud at Wrangler. Well, then let's roll out your community members. We'll have News Now Houston, yep. LIA and AFA, armed robbery. That sucks. Sorry, guys. Auditing America did time for DV. I don't know what that is. Kidnapping of an ex-girlfriend. And so many of your community members have been charged for DV incidents. I don't know what that DV is. Maybe people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones because your community is a mess of criminals. I'm not saying that at all, but do the math. Well over 1,000 auditor channels now with a small percentage of scumbags. Less than 50 troll channels, and one of the top 5 deleted somebody for a PlayStation. Domestic violence. It's shocking how often those charges come up on the criminal record for First Amendment auditors. It's almost like so many of them are angry they got caught and found a way where they think they can finally get some power over the people. That might be true for a select few auditors, but that's not the majority of auditors. So, police domestic violence rates are 2 to 4 times the national average. And it shows. How exactly would you know for a fact that 10 million Americans agree with you? The reason he's mentioned all the time is because he's the only person that anyone has anything bad to say from the anti-auditor channels. He's the only one with any sort of issue in their past, so it's the only thing they can use as an example to make their point. You haven't heard of Long Island Audits, Josh? Yes. 3 of the longest running audit channels with over 250 subs, but you somehow know there's 1,000 auditors running around, but don't know 3 of the biggest? I know them personally. Oh, how do I know for a fact? Because the analytics say so. My hand's falling asleep here. Alright, man. How long are you going to do this crap? That's it. Aren't auditors doing that every time they film somebody? Aren't they imposing on others? Yeah. See, this guy doesn't understand the difference between public and private. I'm not going through all this. Go to my comment section, man, if you want to see all this nonsense. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, Frauditor Troll and I have a good debate tomorrow night. Get some stuff out on the table, see what's what. And, yeah, hopefully that'll be on my main channel. If not, I'll postpone it a day or two till I get my channel back. Other than that, though, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. See ya. Bye.